Our next panelist is Ms. Donna Lem, who's the Executive Vice President of IMC Companies, representing the Agriculture Transportation Coalition. Welcome.
Chairman Fisher, Ranking Member Duckworth, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for holding this very important hearing. I'm honored to speak on behalf of the members of Agricultural Transportation Coalition, our nation's farmers, processors, manufacturers of agriculture and forest products. I come before you today representing our very hardworking members. I'm humbled to speak because no one understands better the importance of this vital economic engine more than you do, as a cattle rancher living and breathing a sector that is so vital in feeding America and the world. As you well know, ag and forest products constitute the largest segment of our country's exports. It's essential at the onset of this testimony to just reiterate the daily threat of global competitive sourcing that confronts all your agriculture and forest products constituents. There's nothing that we produce here in agriculture and forest products shipments that cannot be sourced elsewhere in the world. If we cannot deliver affordably and dependably to our customers in Asia and Europe and around the world, someone else will. And getting those customers back is nearly impossible. All over the country, we're faced with bottlenecks, delays, and handcuffs in our ability to execute within the supply chain. Surging imports, as you referenced, have clogged our ports, and in turn, the trains and the tidal wave has moved inland. Motor carriers already short on drivers sit idle waiting for those containers to become available. In sum, our entire international and domestic transportation supply chains fail. Our producers have to store or even destroy their production and obviously lose the sales that they're so dependent on. U.S. ag and forest products are produced all over the country, and often the sourcing of the containers is far from where these products are produced. The very first challenge is to have adequate supply of containers to move our goods. Our refrigerated shippers, our beef and our poultry shippers suffer from adequate supply of refrigerated equipment. In turn, our refrigerated ag shippers often move in rail cars directly to the ports or to inland hubs where they have access to equipment. Today, in our peak season, where we live in Memphis, Tennessee, shipping cotton, we're already seeing tightening of equipment, Memphis, Dallas, and here there's shortages of equipment in Chicago as well. To compound the challenge of marine container equipment supply, we have another piece of equipment vital to moving ag exports that's critically short, not only in supply, but in quality and safety, fair access and accountability, and that is the chassis. The chassis, that metal frame and wheels upon which the container is mounted for movement over the road. The problem was so critical in Memphis that we came together to form a Memphis Innovation Supply Chain team. We asked Commissioner Dye of the Federal Maritime Commission, because of her success with her national teams, to lead our team. And in turn, we're happy to share that we have great collaboration with all segments, our railroads, our ocean carriers, and our shippers. And we're seeking and appealing to these chassis providers to please understand our need for a single grade pool. We also suffer from rail congestion and scheduling issues. We have rail cutoffs and schedules that are missing, and in turn, as our exports enter our rail terminals, we're being rejected because of the congestion. We're being turned around. We've asked to appeal to you for appointment systems, a look at it, because often there are not enough appointments to meet the surges of exports that we have, and we're not meeting our vessel cutoffs if we cannot meet our rail cutoffs. The agricultural sector certainly has felt the driver shortage, and AgTC members are very grateful for the FMCSA's support of flexibility for sensitive ag shippers and hours of service exceptions within a 150-mile air radius. We're currently faced with new ocean carrier street turns, not all ocean carriers, but some, charging fees as we try to street turn, and what that means is we take an import container that's been emptied and try to utilize that equipment right away on the street. These fees are counterproductive, and we appeal to you to help us in our opposition. port congestion, as we stated at the onset, very challenging for our exports to enter the terminals. We have very narrow windows. We're asked now to bring in those containers when those vessels are working. We don't know when they're working. In turn, we're missing windows and missing sales. Thank you for allowing me just to share with you a glimpse of what we face every day. We seek your assistance in creating more opportunities to collaborate in this multimodal network that we navigate through to export our products that feed the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lem.
Thank you.